Okay, so now we've got our table of contents all organized. And again, our lesson today is going to be dividing decimals by decimal numbers. That's section 2F, so unit 2, section F. And then for me, it's page 25. So you want to go ahead and get your table of contents organized. I'm going to set that aside. And then today, what we're going to do is we're going to learn about dividing decimal numbers by decimal numbers, or dividing by decimal numbers. Really, sometimes we'll be dividing whole numbers by decimal numbers. So you've got your sheet that looks like this, and you can fold that so that eventually this will be glued then into your math journals. And our little clue for today is if a decimal is on the side, slide. So we'll see what that means in just a minute here. Maybe some of you already have a little bit of an inkling. So just some reminders. I'm going to place the first number in the house. So place the first number in the house. I'll take the second number in my division problem when it's written in a linear sentence like this and place that outside the house. And then if a decimal is on the side, meaning outside the house, slide. So here's what that will look like. So we've got the number 41 and 6/10, and we're going to divide that by 0 and 39 hundredths, but I'm just going to leave that 0 off. It just complicates things to add in those zeros on the front end like that. So I'm just going to say divided by 39 hundredths. So here's what we're talking about when we say slide. If we've got a decimal in the number that's outside of the division house, then in order to do this algorithm, we're going to slide that decimal point to the very end of the digits in the divisor. And so that was a 2-spot slide. So it's not here anymore, we just slid it 2 places. Well, whatever we do to the decimal on the outside, we're going to do to the decimal on the inside. So I'm going to take this and slide it 1 and 2 places. So it'll be here and not here anymore. Now, as you can see, we have a problem because we've got an empty space, but we know what to do with those. We add zeros there. And so there's our 0. And then we do what we always do with decimals when we're dividing. We bring that up to the roof there. So we raise the roof with the decimal point. All right, then we can do our division. So when I divide this number, you're going to see that I come out with a repeating decimal. And I know some of you have been exposed to that because you've tried to do that on some of the problems we've seen before. So I'll just go ahead and work this one for you. The rest of these won't have repeaters, but this one will. So we'll say 39 can't go into 4, but 39 can go into 41, and it goes into 41 one time. So multiply 39 times 1 is 39, and do my subtraction. When I subtract here, I get a 2, and then I'm ready to bring down. So I bring down my 6. 39 can't go into 26, so I have to put a 0 up here because I brought down a number and I still can't divide into it. And then I bring down another number, and in this case will be a 0. And 39 will divide into 266 times. And 39 times 6 is 234. When we do that subtraction, we can't take 4 away from 0, so we regroup. Make this a 5, and this a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 3 from 5 is 2. And so you can see we have 26. Well, you know what we would do here. We would add a 0 because 39 can't go into 26 and bring it down. But we already know then that 39 goes into 266 times, and that would be 234. And of course, when we subtract, again, we're going to get that 26. So since that pattern is going to repeat over and over and over again, because no matter how many times we do this division, will always bring down a 0, and 39 will always go into 266 times. So instead of doing that over and over and over again, we show that that would have to happen over and over again by adding a little line above the 6 to show that it's a repeating decimal. All right. So now let's go on and do a couple of these other problems. So we've got 20 and 7/10 divided by 6/10. We'll put 20 and 7/10 in the house, and we're dividing by 6/10. Remember, we're just going to leave that lead 0 off there. So we've got a decimal point on the outside of the house. We can't have that. So we're going to slide that one place, and since we slid it one place out here, we're going to slide it one place in here. It's not there anymore, it's here, and we'll bring it up, we'll raise it to the roof. 6 can't divide into 2, but 6 divides into 20 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18, so we subtract 18 from 20, and we get 2 left over. We bring down our 7. 6 divides into 27 4 times, which is 24. Do our subtraction. We get a 3. We don't have remainders in 6th grade, so we know that when this happens, we add a 0. Now there's already a decimal point there, so we don't have to worry about adding that decimal point. Bring down our 0, and 6 divides into 35 times. So our answer for 20 and 7/10 divided by 6/10 is 34 and 5/10. All right, let's look at the next one. We're going to take 732 thousandths and divide that by 6/100. 2 decimal points to slide over 2 places. Sorry, 1 decimal point to slide over 2 places. So slide this decimal point over 1, 2, and it raises to the roof right there. It's not there anymore. That one's gone. And now we don't have to worry about this lead 0 anymore. We just need to see how many times will 6 divide into 7. Goes in 1 time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract 6 from 7, and I get 1. Bring down my 3. 6 divides into 13 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. Do my subtraction. I get 1. Bring down my 2. And of course 6 divides into 12 2 times. And so we're done. And our answer then to 732 thousandths divided by 6/100 is 12 and 2/10. All right, let's try the next one. So we've got 25 and 5/10 divided by 1 and 5/10. We've got a decimal in the number that's outside or the divisor, so we're going to slide that over until it's after the last digit in the divisor. And since we slid it over one place in the divisor, we're going to slide it over one place in the dividend and bring it up to raise it to the roof. It's not there anymore, it's there. 15, now this becomes 15 divided into 255. So 15 divided into 25 is 1. When we subtract, we get 10. We bring down our 5. 15 divides into 105 exactly 7 times. Subtract 105 is 0. So 25 and 5/10 divided by 1 and 5/10 is the number 17, the whole number 17. So we don't have to write a decimal point there because we always understand that there's a decimal point behind the ones place. All right, now we've got a whole number divided by a decimal number. So we have 1,196 divided by 23/100. We're going to slide our decimal point 2 places. So we've got to slide a decimal point 2 places over here. Well, we don't have a decimal point, but we know it's always sitting after the 1. So it's right there. We'll slide it 1, 2, and bring it up there. Now we've got some empty spaces sitting here. So as always, when we have empty spaces sitting around, we're going to add some zeros into those spaces. And so we're left with the problem 119,600 divided by 23. All right, well 23 can't go into 1, 23 can't go into 11, but 23 can go into 119, and it goes in 5 times. So we put a 5 up here, and we multiply 5 times 23, we get 115. So we subtract 115 from 119, we get 4 left over. Then we bring down our 6. 23 goes into 46 2 times. 2 times 23 is 46, so we subtract. Now you might be tempted to think you're done, but don't forget about these extra zeros we had to add. We still have to account for those. So 23 goes into 0 times. Bring down our last 0. 23 goes into 0 times. So our answer to 1,196 divided by 23 hundredths is 5,200. All right, guys, that is it for dividing decimals. Of course, we'll practice this when you get to class, and we'll take an exit ticket at the end of the lesson. If you've watched these notes all the way through, put an asterisk near the words "try these," and that will be worth a strong buck when you come to class. See you then. Bye.